Hi there! Today we're going to look at and gain a brief understanding about John Keats, historical poet of the Romantic era, who wrote intense and vivid poems, many of which deal with beauty and its inevitable passing. Specifically, we will discuss the poem To Autumn, which was written in 1819. Born in London in 1795, Keats lost both his parents as a young person. He later worked as a poet under the guidance of poets such as Wordsworth. However, his first book of poetry was criticised, finding himself destitute. Keats believed that a person could communicate thoughts and feelings directly and make fleeting moments of pleasure permanent if you could find the right combination of words, and this is reflective in his work. Keats lived a short life after being diagnosed with tuberculosis in 1818, dying 3 years after this. He fell in love with Fanny Brawne around the time of his diagnosis, though he was unable to marry her. To Autumn was one of the last poems written by Keats, where he enables the reader to see the typical imagery of the autumn season. In this case, it's early autumn. Essentially, autumn itself in this poem is personified and is perceived in a state of activity. The first stanza of the poem describes autumn's abundance and intimacy with the sun, with whom autumn ripens fruits and causes late flowers to bloom. It's all about the sights of autumn. The second stanza describes autumn as a female goddess. This stanza refers to the characteristic activities of autumn. In the third stanza, autumn is seen as a musician. It focuses on the sounds of autumn. With this context and knowledge in mind, you now need to go and read the poem for yourself, and remember to define any unfamiliar vocabulary as you read. After you have read it, answer these questions on this slide to help you with your understanding of the poem. Write your answers on your copy of your poem or in your English books. Don't forget, you also need to try and identify the key devices listed here. It's important to not only annotate the poem and identify the devices, but to also try and identify and take note of the enduring message. Bring this and your answers to the questions to class for discussion. See you there.